Hello, welcome to replicate this Illustrator edition. This is problem number 5. Let's get right into it. We need to type the words burned cloud in Myriad Regular or Myriad Pro Regular. My computer insists on using Myriad Pro Regular. Yours might be willing to use Myriad Amateur Regular. Whatever weight of or kind of Myriad you have is fine, just as long as it's a regularish weight. I'm going to hit escape to get out of blinking cursor mode. I'm going to increase the size a little bit. That's probably good for now. Okay, I'm going to zoom in once. Okay, well, the first thing we need to do with our type is to create outlines. Now, there is a keyboard shortcut for this, but I'm going to show you where to find it in the menus. Type, create outlines, and the shortcut is Shift-Command-O. Create outlines gives us a grouped series of letters. As you can see, it is a group of outlines now, which is important because, as you can see, these ascenders and descenders have been extended. They've been edited to be longer. And how do we edit points in Illustrator? Well, we grab the white arrow. We can also grab the white arrow by hitting A on our keyboard. V is the black arrow, A is the white arrow. I am going to grab the ascender of the B. I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to drag select over the U, and I'm going to drag over the D, the L, and the second D, all at the same time. So you can see I have the topmost points of these 5 letters selected at the same time. And then I'm going to move them up with my directional arrow keys. If I hold down Shift and click, it moves them up 10 times as far. Now that's a little bit too far, but it'll just accentuate what I'm about to do even more. Check out, when you have multiple points selected with the white arrow, up here you get basically the contents of your Align and Distribute panel. What we have here, what we need rather, is Vertical Align Top. That's this 4th button from the left. Vertical Align Top makes sure all of our ascenders, all of our points rather, are aligned exactly along the same point. I'm going to shift these down a little bit because, as you can see, they don't need to be quite that long. There we go. That's probably good, right? Again, white arrow. Let's take a look at the example. The R and the N are the only letters that are going to be created as artificial descenders. So I'm going to drag select over the bottom points of the R and the N. And I can either use the arrow keys or I can drag down while holding down Shift. Just to give a little bit of variety and to show you the options you have, I'm going to just drag with my mouse. That's pretty good. Actually, it looks a little bit long, so I'm going to use my keys to go back up just a few nudges. My up directional arrow key. Okay, that's pretty good. Those are the outlines that will work pretty well for us. Okay, make sure your letters are still grouped. They must be grouped in order to have what we're about to do next work. So if you have accidentally ungrouped your letters, just make sure they're grouped. Quickest way to check to see if they're all grouped is to click one of them, and if they're all selected, then you're good to go. Let us go up to the Effect menu, Effect, 3D, Rotate. That's going to bring up the 3D Rotate Options panel. I need to click Preview so I can see what's happening here. We have a cube here that represents, the blue part of the cube represents our type, the front of our type, and as we rotate the cube, our type turns around accordingly. Kind of fun. We could play with this all day, but we won't for the sake of this tutorial. I'm going to get it in approximately the right location before I reveal to you the secret that you were going to need. That perspective slider is what we need to make it look real like the example. I'm going to slide the slider up all the way to like 150. We might even need to go higher than that, 155. See how it makes the perspective a little more extreme and will help us to get a little bit closer to our example. Okay, one thing, see how my selection cursor is the 4-way, kind of like the Photoshop move tool? If I move my cube around, it's just going to move in a freestyle sort of way without any accuracy really. But if I click on the corners of the cube, this moves it only along the y-axis. And if I click on the bottom or the top, it moves it along the x-axis. See how the edges turn red there? That just gives you a little bit more accuracy as you're rotating this thing. I think 155 is a bit much. I'm going to go down to 150 degrees of perspective. Oops, I accidentally clicked OK, but that actually gives me the chance to show you how you get back into the 3D rotate tool. What you do not want to do is go back up here and apply the effect again. That will cause you untold headache. So don't go back up to the effect menu. Make sure it's still selected. Go to your appearance panel. Let's go to the appearance panel and see how the word 3D rotate is there in a blue underlined word. Blue underline means what? Click. So let's click it. Let's see, this is going to be tricky to see. Let's cancel out of that and let's scoot this farther over here and a little bit up. Let's click the word 3D rotate again. There we go. For some reason, Illustrator always turns off the preview, so we're going to turn it back on again. Now, if any of you are confused by these blue outlines here, they're actually showing the original letters. The original letters still exist there because this is just an effect, remember. If you'd like to hide them, let's cancel out of this and let's go to the View menu and let's hide edges. Command H. Hide edges gets rid of the blue outlines, although it is still selected, so we can click 3D rotate. Click preview again, and now we have something that's much, much easier to see. All right, now I should have zoomed out a little bit so we could see our example, but I know that it's leaned back a little bit like that. It's probably too high this way. I can see my example right there, and I can tell that we need to move it. Need to rotate it a little bit that way, maybe a little bit that way. Hey, you know what? Guess what we forgot? We forgot the U. The L, the U, and the D all should be the same height. Well, this will be a good example to show you what we can do. All right, I'm going to click OK. I'm going to zoom out once. Okay, we're getting pretty close, actually. I just need to go in here and see how when I select this, I can't see the blue outlines. That's because we have show edges and hide edges are both Command H. All right, now what I want to show you is how we can correct my mistake. We didn't do the U by going to Outlines mode. View, Outline, Command Y. We can go back in here and we can hit A to get our white arrow, and we can select the top points of the U, and we could just select, I don't know, these two letters, and we could go back up here to vertical align top. What that's going to do is pull the top points of the U up to meet the L and the D's top points. Okay, so now we have the correct outlines. I'm going to go back to preview mode by hitting Command Y. And we're getting pretty close, aren't we? Make sure that's selected. I'm going to hit Command H to hide the edges, and I'm going to hit 3D rotate one more time. Click preview. I think we need a little bit more rotation this way. See, now we're getting really close, and then I'm going to go to this outer ring, which allows you to rotate the whole thing. That is pretty dang close. If you got that close, you would pass. I would give you an A for that problem. So that is the end. That's all we need to do. I'm going to turn back on edges so I don't get confused later, and we'll see you on number 6.